Another part of the glamorous RV life is having to go out in weather like this because you got to wash your underwear. Tell them what a glamorous time you're having being an RVer. That good? So this is the other fun part about being a full-time RVer. If you do not have a washer and dryer in your RV. So this is just a fact of reality, things that need to get done.
And you get to meet fun, interesting people.
Well, guys, as you can see, full-time RV life ain't always fun and games. You got to do those chores like you do just in your old stick and brick. Laundry, dishes, work, especially if you're not the retirement age. Been noticing a lot of videos here where people get this misconception that if you go live full-time in an RV, it's always going to be, you know, fun and games. You're always going to be out to look at this, look at that. But if you have a job that you work outside of your RV, you don't always have the time to go exploring all these places and constantly just be on the move. You have to be in one place for a little bit longer than others. I mean, there's definitely some things we miss about, you know, the home life. The washer, the dryer, because my washer and dryer is rusted. But it was working today, 1/4 at a time. But you know, that, and Miss Jewel says she misses the dishwasher. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But other than that, RV life is fun. But I just think a lot more people who watching some of these other videos out here think it's just one great big party out here all the time. You know, full-time RVing, and really it's not really the case. Yeah, it's got its great points, and it's got a lot of fun and adventure. And mostly the adventure is where are you going to dump your tanks, where are you going to get water, and we're going to get woken up if we boondock here. Is it going to be safe right here?
And some of the people in the campgrounds.
Yeah, and also that. Is it safe in the RV park or campground that I'm in? Because that's not always the case either. I mean, there's Captain Crazy everywhere. There's always something. But, you know, like I said, watching a lot of these people who just are watching the upside of all these RV videos, and I'm sure some of ours have probably been guilty of showing the good side of RVing and everything. But there's really more to it than just the fun times. And I know a lot of people don't show that. I know we don't show it too much. But, excuse me. You know, things break in these. You got a lot of repairs. And my filter doesn't work too well. And if I was to edit every single thing that came out of my mouth when I'm making a repair for something stupid, yeah, that you would hear nothing but one constant beep. So I tend not to do that. And not only that, if something's busted, we just want to hurry up and get it fixed. So I am very bad about trying to record everything that I'm doing to make a repair. Sometimes I'm okay. Miss Jill's better at that than me. Yeah. But, I mean, you know, just keeping it real here with you guys. I mean, it's just, you know, we see in some of these younger people who are thinking it's okay. And even some of our generation of people who think it's just, I'm going to hurry up, go buy me an RV. I'm going to go full-time RV. They don't think about all the other stuff that goes along with this. Because, I guess in a better sake of words, I feel like some of these people have been misled that it's one great big party out here.
Right. It's all doable, but you need to use your head.
Yeah. Yeah, think it through. Have some sort of plan. I guess I really shouldn't say some sort of plan. We don't really have a plan either. Yeah. But we planned to come live this lifestyle. It wasn't like, well, I think tomorrow I'm going to go buy a brand new RV, or hey, I think tomorrow I'm going to go get an RV and we're going to get rid of all of our stuff and we're going to go live full time. In our search for campers, we came across one said person at a dealership. Well, I guess not really the person who done it, but this lady had bought a brand new, I can't remember what brand it was.
It's a Cougar, wasn't it?
Might have been a Cougar.
Keystone Cougar?
Yeah, and big, massive, I mean, it's a nice RV, But she paid $40-some thousand for it and had it for 2 weeks and brought it back because camping wasn't for her. Because, one, she was a germaphobe. I don't understand how you thought that was going to be okay if you've got a problem with germs and you're going to live in a full-time in an RV, and if you plan on traveling, you're more than likely going to touch the terrible, awful pipe.
Well, she had stuff stuck up in her, any crevice that had holes, like the vents and everything. She had.
Yeah, she had it all covered up with cotton.
Because dirt would come in and it would freak her out. So.
And she lasted 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. 2 weeks after spending all that money.
And we were looking at the RV, and it was, what, $20,000 at that point?
Yeah,
so,
and it's a couple weeks old.
Yeah, so she lost a lot of money on that. So.
Yeah, it was just way too big for what we were actually looking for. Right. That would have been a good price.
It's lovely, yeah.
Because she sprung for the extras too when she bought it, which is very unfortunate for her. I shouldn't kind of sound like making light of it.
I feel bad for her.
Feel bad for her, but at the same time, it's like you got to think these things through. Because RVing is not always easy. You also got to think, if there's going to be more than one of you, you're going to be in that small confined space with each other, and sometimes that's not always fun. It's not.
I'm peaches and cream. I don't know about him though.
Ah, crap. The BS meter. I'll have to get one of those. But no. But it does get every once in a while. You do kind of step on each other's toes when you're in these RVs and stuff. You can't always be, oh, I'm happy. Well, it could be, but that's just not our nature. We got a violent streak between each other. But we like it that way.
That's why God created alcohol. There's a reason he created wine. Just saying.
And she probably has to drink her fair share of that to kind of stay.
I am just kidding. I mean, Jesus did create wine, but yeah. Not because of that reason. Go ahead. Just keep going.
This is why I married this woman. Sure, her ability to come up with some comic kind of reasoning. But, yeah, like I said, RVing's not always fun. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the whole battle of where you going to get water at sometimes, where you going to dump your tanks, it can be very stressful. And especially if you're in a bigger rig like ours, sometimes you can't find boondocking spots. You can't find campgrounds. Now, that's something you probably should be a little better planning out of where you're going to be. But we don't like to kind of do that too much because we kind of like to fly by the seat of our pants, especially when we're in travel mode, and just go wherever it takes us.
Right. But,
sometimes you don't have the ability to do that. But like this one person we were watching, they'd bought an RV in the middle of winter. Didn't know nothing really about their RV. And then got themselves in a situation where, these cold temperatures, they couldn't use their water. They didn't understand. When the dealer told them it was winterized, that means you can't just pour water in that tank and drink it, guys. No. These, and if you're going to full-time in these, you really don't winterize them when you're full-time. You just have to adapt to what the cold weather is going to be and make precautionary measures, or take precautionary measures, rather, to hope and pray that your lines don't bust. Hope and pray that your tanks don't split. I mean, because that's a lot of what RVing in this kind of weather and these kind of conditions is oh, please, God, don't drink.
And as a lot of people are learning right now, following 70 degrees, and they went to Arizona.
Joke's on you.
And Arizona's covered with snow right at the moment, and Ohio is not. So
yeah, we were up in the upper 50s yesterday. Yeah. Now today, however, this is the other reason we're inside. We elected to go do laundry because today we were actually free to go do something. But we've got 60+ mile-an-hour winds out there right now.
Yeah, you probably can hear it on some of the.
Yeah, so we've been kind of hunkered in and kind of
getting our monthly type chores or weekly. I don't know. Sometimes we do them more often than not, but
yeah,
sometimes we put it off because it's not fun. It's not convenient.
Yeah, exactly. And we want to go and do things.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, that's the other thing about people that doesn't really think about going full-time RV. They're used to being in that stick and brick, and then a tornado comes.
You just go in the basement. Yeah.
And there's no basement to run to when you're in one of these here. Well, we've got something that's called a basement, but here's the problem with that. If this gets lifted, the basement goes with it. So,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, there's on a different type of note, you definitely want to have a checklist when you pull into an RV park.
Find out where all the safety, tornado shelters or stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you have the luxury of being in one, when you have bad weather, and like they were saying, I think it was in Columbus, Mississippi, they were having tornadoes. I think it was Columbus, Mississippi. But they had some bad tornadoes and stuff like that going on down there.
I hope everyone's safe down there, but
yeah. But yeah, like I said, everybody gets this misconception though. I think when they're watching some of us, YouTubers, when we put all the fun stuff out here that we were able to do, and it gives people like a false positive, and it's not. Like I said, RV life is great. RV's life is what you make of it. We like RV life, but it does come with its own challenges. It really does, especially when you're stuck someplace when it's like very, very cold. Your chore list is not. Actually, I would say your chore list in the winter camping is more than it was in your stick and brick for certain. Because, the water lines freeze outside. You don't want to bring water in. You got to go get water. You go get jugged water, bring it in to do your dishes.
Well, it also depends on if you're hooked up or not hooked up. I mean, if you're boondocking and it's cold,
it's cold.
It's a little harder to go out and get water, especially if you get snowed in.
Yeah.
So, you got to be prepared and think ahead. Some people don't like
plan too much as far as survival mode.
Yeah, and then if you're hooked up, then you have to, work and worry about your pipes freezing and all that. So
even with a great, heated water hose, the temperatures get down, it's going to freeze your hose every which way. So that's like I said, like when we had the -30 with the wind chill and stuff, and wind whipping underneath, boomer, stuff like that, we just evacuated all of our water on board. We evacuated our tank. Everything that we had in here that had any kind of liquid in it was evacuated. Even purge the lines, basically run the pump with no water in it, so it split every little spit and drop out of it, because we are not winterized, because we use our plumbing on a more regular basis.
Yeah. When it does drop down, we have no problem going a day or two just using jugs, which is fine, because that leaves us not worrying about the pipes as much.
Yeah, I'd rather jug some water in than pay somebody else to repair a line that I can't get to. That could cost you several thousands of dollars to get fixed, and that's just not, it's not feasible in my book.
Yeah.
But like I said, we aren't really trying to come here to preach, but we just want people to be aware that everything you see on TV, everything you see on YouTube, it's not always the best, the most awesome time out here. Now, we're not telling you guys don't go do this, but we say really do your research before you jump in, get yourself in deep on an RV, or make a commitment that you're not 100% sure that you're willing to commit to, and live a little bit differently lifestyle. And like I said, because RVing will push you to your limit on some days. Some days it's the most beautiful thing that you ever come across, and wish you'd have done it sooner. But some days you even us, we question, why the hell did we do this? I mean, when everything is just going wrong, you can't find water, your tanks are full, you're about ready to run out of fuel because you miscalculated a fuel stop. And that's even worse because I'm a truck driver. I don't usually do stuff like that. But, it's happened. We've come close to running out of fuel in Boomer. And because there's no place to get fuel. What was supposed to be there is no longer in business in some of these little way out stretches of places. And 10 or 15 gallons worth of jerry cans, it ain't getting Boomer very far. But these are the kind of things that makes RV life a little bit stringent, and it makes it a little bit tougher than most.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to come full-time RV, we're just going to be flat out honest with you. Think it through before you do. Make sure that you've got a tough enough grit to you to weather the storm, and fight your way through it, because some days it's just a mess.
Yeah. My thought is nothing's set in stone. So like when you walk into a sticks and bricks, you're gonna have unless you haven't paid your bills, of course. You're going to have water. You're going to have electric. You know, you have rooms set aside for going to the bathroom or taking a shower, and you got, you know, all this. But you're not always guaranteed any of that in an RV. So you've got to, you know, just roll with it. So.
Yeah. I mean, granted, you have the ability to go to a restroom if you have an RV, but if you're in the middle of traveling and you're going down the highway and you got the wind blowing underneath there and it's blowing on those tanks, maybe going to the bathroom in your RV is probably not the wisest idea, because you're going to end up with either a poop sickle or a pee sickle. So let's just be adults about this. It's the cleanest I could put that. But you're going to end up with these kind of things. And that's the last thing you want, is one of those nasty cubes floating around there and you can't drain it. Or it gets in the wrong part of the pipe and splits your pipe. Ugh. You don't want that terrible awful. But so, like I said, you got to use your, you know, you got to get kind of creative, and you got to really think it through. And you got to really basically live based on the weather. You know, like I said, because it's not always going to get in 70 degrees like Miss Jill said. These people went, it was snowing in Tucson, for crying out loud. I don't know how much snow they got in Tucson. But her mother and father is down there. We needed to call them and ask them. I mean, they got enough.
At least 3 or 4, and I'm sure it melted the next day. But
yeah, but it's just a point, you know.
They've been getting colder temperatures too all throughout. Well, and then Flagstaff got 38 inches.
Oh, I know Kingman got a bunch, and so did Oatman. The donkeys are probably loving it up there in Oatman, Arizona. But, you know, like I said, we're not telling you guys by no means not to go RV. We're just saying think it through. I guess that's really what we're wanting to tell you is, you know, it's living in RVs basically just like living in a house. So just sometimes you have more chores and you have more things to think about. Because like Miss Jill said, you take it for granted that you're always going to have these things.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know when something's going to break or when something's not going to work properly, or
you get a psychotic person next door to you in a campground or someplace, or
run into a tree right next to you.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Lord. That's for another video, guys. But we just want to kind of touch base with you and let you guys know that, you know, not every day is the most beautiful day under the sun in an RV. You know, it's normal life. And
just roll with it.
Just roll with it. But it's always an adventure either which way. So this is Tony.
And Jill.
And we will hopefully not bore you on the next video. But yeah, we just want you guys to keep in mind, it's not always a party. Until next time, guys, we'll see you. Bye.
Bye.